Welcome to episode 27 of the Creative Train podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk about something really simple, your tools. Now, those might be guitar picks or instruments, or it might be paintbrushes or pencils, or in another case like mine, glass cutting tools. But it's not about the expensive, elite, top shelf level tools that we assemble around us. It's about the things that we learn how to get the absolute most out of, how to treat them well, how to maintain them. And this is not an instruction manual for how to do those things. It's a bit of encouragement for you that you can do whatever you want with what you have around you. All aboard? When I first started scripting ideas for the Creative Train podcast, I wrote everything out by hand. Weird. It's kind of my thing though, because I learned that when writing lyrics, either for my own songs or for my songbook for cover songs, that it seemed to have a more direct route to my long-term memory if I wrote things out by hand. If I print lyrics off the internet, I'll never remember them. I'll always have to read them. It's totally fine for a few verses and a chorus to write things out by hand, but a script, which can average sometimes around 2,000 words, gets to be a bit much to keep up with, and my hand starts to cramp up as my ideas get backed up. So these past few months, I've been typing it all out on my computer. Yes, my trusty HP computer with a wonderfully silent SSD drive. Not on my Mac, which artsies are supposed to use, right? Which is still really, it's a computer. I remember the good old days when artsies started using computers, and back then I would have qualified my statement with saying, I start with the whir of the 5-inch floppy disk drive on my Amiga computer. Remember those? Those are the ones that were supposed to be for the artsies. Funny stuff. My 50-something-year-old wrists are not really too fond of the burn of long sessions of pencil pushing. And after more than 30 years of teaching and playing music professionally, along with a few years of really rough work in the logging industry, with a brutish Husqvarna chainsaw and a semi-regular Planet Fitness gym schedule and glass cutting and the regular wear and tear of home maintenance, I'm allowing myself to put aside my trusty blue Staedtler pencil for the light touch of a very lovely HP keyboard. Did you notice all the names and types of descriptions I dropped there? And I bet a few of those sparked a memory of your own. If they did not resonate with a particular memory of your own, chances are you reached into your vault of images and sounds and scents and textures to try to make real for you, for your own edification, a bit of what I was talking about. To be fair, I will admit I am somewhat of a gear snob in that my trusty blue Staedtler pencil, which I treat myself to a new one at the beginning of each teaching year, will, over the course of a year, put to paper a few hundred chord charts, notes, and tabs for my students, suggestions for viewing and listening for students and on sticky notes, and of course, the dreaded financial note-taking at year's end. Unlike most of the off-brand mechanical pencils, these are truly elite in their category. But otherwise, if you choose gear, you know, the tools you require to accomplish your creative tasks, when you choose those things, will anyone ever really know what tools you used when they are experiencing your creations? No. But some will probably say yes. Will a photo or image edited in a particular program look different if done on a PC or a Mac? Or heaven forbid, a Linux platform? No. Will an audio track recorded on a industry standard super high-end digital audio workstation with proprietary hardware sound any different than one recorded on an open source platform with the same bit depth and rendering capabilities? Again, no. Will someone claim their firewood burns brighter or their timbers are proven stronger if they were cut with a $2,000 chainsaw or a more budget-friendly $600 saw? Again, no. The differences arise in the ease of use, the versatility, and ultimately the durability and longevity of those tools. When you're just starting out on a creative adventure, you will, of course, do some online research into the best possible tools for you to begin to invest in. But do not think for 1 second that you need them in order to either enjoy or find satisfaction in your creations. If you're at the hobbyist level, invest in hobby level priced tools. You don't need professional quality tools when you're just getting started. I always tell people, invest in something new when you can appreciate the difference. When I have new guitar students, they often have crappy hand-me-down guitars, and they'll often ask, when should I upgrade my instrument? At which point I will offer them my guitar or uke or whatever to use for a few moments. When they see, hear, and feel the difference, then they know. I don't have super expensive gear in my teaching studios. One reason is always the chance that something can be stolen if it's not housed on my particular property. And the other is that I don't want day-to-day wear on an instrument that I particularly cherish. Those are for gigs and recording. But that's not to say that these are superior in their results. They're just more meaningful in my mind and heart. They have a vibe to them. I have my, as you would call it, if a car, a daily driver. And then you have your car for Sunday afternoon drives. In my case, I have more than a couple of guitars, but that's not the point. So a case in point, just tonight I had a student ask about my guitar. And tonight I had my Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster in the studio, much like the one that you see Bruce Springsteen with all the time. Mine was under $300 Canadian used. Bruce Springsteen's, if he has a signature model, I bet it would come in around $5,000. And in that moment, they both do exactly the same job and in the right hands produce the same results. It is never in any way a reflection of your ability or your intent as an artist to display your expensive tools as a means to draw customers, clients, listeners, or viewers. I have taken some of my more cherished instruments to work with me to let certain students who I know will really dig playing something really unique, and I'll let them try it. I really enjoy the moment when you see the smile on their face where they can't believe that they're playing this guitar. But otherwise, just showing off your gear, that's just a dick move if you ever try to really pull that off. So I always tell folks, get a new instrument when you can truly appreciate what that instrument offers you that the other one or ones did not. And you'll always be inspired in the short term by new gear. But it's the long-term factor that comes into play if you're going to invest serious money in a high-end tool. Notice I said tool because it applies to any form of creative endeavor. Consider the tools that our predecessors had, folks like Bach, Michelangelo, Klimt, Hildegard von Bingen, Macintosh, Stickley, and the list goes on. And by today's modern standards, the tools they had to use were primitive and basic, and some might even say, crap. But look and listen to what they accomplished using only what they had. Quills and ink, blunted pencils that had to be sharpened on knife edge, instrument strings made not of pristine stainless steel, but of catgut. So what's the difference then? It can only come down to the mind and heart and soul of each and every designer or composer or painter or crafter, even if they were not career-oriented makers. They made beauty with what they had available. So many of us now have our sales filled with chasing down deals on high-end gear we have absolutely no ability to appreciate. But because we read about someone we admire who uses it, we then come to equate our potential with that person's ability and results. We come to equate our potential with that person's ability or results. It's worth saying twice. If only we could get that one elusive guitar amp or studio mic or paintbrush made with the hairs of a unicorn's butt, then and only then will we find our creative nirvana. No, stop it. That's totally not true. I like to call these folks the cork sniffers, those who believe that there is indeed a silver bullet solution for creative satisfaction and success. Those who believe if they read all the hype online and the reviews and recommendations and weigh that against their bank account balance, then they will surely have discovered the Shangri-La of tone, texture, taste, and tonality without anyone ever having picked up on their findings. No, there is no secret to it. You will not become your hero if you buy their stuff. You are an artist, and you create because you must. And if you are a teacher, you teach because it's your calling. You're not a pawn in someone's corporate advertising scheme. You are a creator who needs to buy a few tools. You use your gear to the best of your abilities. You dream of new ways to use exactly what you have. And this motivates you. It's what keeps you up at night. You are an artist, a creator, one who writes the words, sings the songs, and creates the images and the things that this world needs right now. You likely have all you will ever need right now. And that is your mind, your heart, your imagination, and a few basic tools. There's your pep talk. Now go get to work. So the moral of the story is to be patient, to understand that there is a process to achieving your greatest creative goals, and there should be nothing holding you back. Maybe you do have some budgetary concerns and have to buy some less expensive things, and that is totally fine. You think about all those artists I mentioned before and the works of wonder that they created with what we would consider very primitive tools, and how enduring those are, how respected those works are. It's amazing. So we really, in this day and age, have very little excuse for not creating. So yeah, grab your tools and get to work, eh?